Fuck it, there we go. Just cross midfield on the first play of the drive.
There you go. Someone's hitting an over today.
Oh no, not a flag. Be on the defense. Love this over to hit by halftime.
All right, you ready to roll?
Yeah, illegal alien downfield.
3, 2. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofict one, AJ. Joining me, as always, man with the numbers, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond, all hail the king of the links, the money train, Noah. How you doing today, bub?
I'm doing great. Happy World Series Eve.
Yes.
Happy Thursday night football. Happy Thursday night Sunbelt. Happy, every whatever you can come up with today. No complaints.
Dude, it's a great day. It's a great day to be a sports fan as long as you're not involved in the NBA. We'll get to that in a moment. Before we go any further, do just want to take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons. Hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. But Noah, this is our normal, college football NFL show where we go ahead and make our picks for the weekend. And we're going to go ahead and start it off a little different, though. We're going to talk about one of the biggest stories to drop in the sports gambling NBA world in a while. I mean, it's been a couple of months since the NBA's had a gambling scandal. So, glad they can pick up. But this one definitely being the biggest one to occur. Let's go ahead and break it down, Noah, because not only does it involve the NBA, it involves 3 of the biggest Italian crime families, mafias, if you will, in the world. So today, the FBI did go ahead and arrest Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier for, let's go ahead and break down the list, Noah, because it was an illegal illegal poker games that they were bringing to. Not only were they illegal poker games, but they were cheating in those poker games. The mafia guys were. We'll get to that in a moment. And then also insider information, including leaking information on LeBron James with a potential injury, sitting before the lines moved, before it was well known. Also, Terry Rozier leaking to the guys like, hey, I'm going to be out by the first or second quarter. Go ahead and take my unders, and continued to go on with that. Rozier, obviously more tied to the sports gambling aspect of it. Chauncey Billups tied more to the poker aspect of it, but not really clear on if he had knowledge of the games and such, or knowledge of that stuff going on, and if he shared that knowledge. That I'm sure will come out at some point. But Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, and I'm sure more names to be announced, was kind of used as a face, kind of used as a front to get these poker players into these illegal games. As, hey, come play some high-stakes poker with NBA players, former NBA players, coaches, et cetera, et cetera. And so getting them in there and then using literally every trick in the book that you can think of cheating at any card game. X-ray glasses with cards marked on the back, X-ray tables so you can see through the felt and what the cards they have, machines to make sure, people get certain cards, and rivers and everything flopped a certain way. It's a massive thing, again, involving the crime families and everything like that. The crazy thing to me is, and it makes a lot more sense to me now, not David Stern, Adam Silver was on the Pat McAfee show, I believe the day of NBA opening night or the day after, and essentially was talking about sports gambling and saying, yeah, we need more regulations. We need to limit some of these prop bets, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of this comes out with the FBI just a couple of days later. There's a reason we don't talk a lot of NBA gambling, Noah. There's a reason in our 5 years of doing this show that we have only really talked about playoffs and the finals. And even then, we're not talking player props. We're not really talking this. We're just talking about more money line than anything like that. And it's because the history NBA has and how easy it is for one player to impact the outcome of a game. Whereas you look at baseball, football, soccer I'm a little bit more hesitant on, but I'll include soccer in that, where there's more people involved. And so harder to get everybody on the same page, keep your mouth shut and everything like that.
I also feel like...
Go ahead.
sorry to cut you off there. I also feel like in the NBA, for the most part, it's a lot easier if there is some sort of game fixing, stat fixing thing going on. It's a lot easier to do in basketball. It's a lot easier, and then to play it off as, oh, I just had a bad night.
Yeah.
I had a bad
Yeah.
night. Or, you tell somebody take your under on assists and you're just not passing the ball to open players intentionally. Like, it's a lot easier. The only positions in like other major sports that I could think of where you could potentially like game fix without it being blatantly obvious. You look at like quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
I suppose a running back or receiver could like fumble intentionally to sway a game a little bit, like a game outcome, but it's not really going to impact like prop outcomes too much. Quarterbacks, you could throw some bad interceptions.
Miss all your touchdown passes in the red zone, so then you got to kick a field goal, take the under on passing touchdowns, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
I suppose a kicker could impact the game in football. Other than that, it's like maybe a goalie in hockey or soccer.
Yeah.
But probably easier for a hockey goaltender to accidentally let some in than soccer. I feel like if you're a goalie in soccer and you're letting in some bad goals that you should have easily saved, they're like people are going to draw a real quick eye to that shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I don't know. It feels like there's a lot more. I guess my point is there's a lot more opportunity for this to exist in the sport of basketball, and that's just because of the way that how many guys are out there. Just the nature of the sport itself really opens up a lot more doors for this shit to be present versus most other sports.
Definitely. And, you think about the history with basketball, Tim Donaghy and everything like that. That's a big black mark on not only the NBA, but NBA officiating and officials in general. We might have a bigger black mark on the NBA, though, with this whole gambling scandal outside of the fact that a head coach and a player were involved with Brian Windhorst. And arrested, yeah. And arrested. Brian Windhorst on the Rich Eisen show today came out and said, quote unquote, I just want to point something out. The sports books caught the irregular betting on Terry Rozier the day it happened, which, that obviously, like, they have the technology nowadays. I'm sure they had that shit locked down, maybe didn't pay all of it, but reported it to the league. I'm sorry, he goes back on to saying, he didn't say that, I said anyway. Caught the irregular betting on Terry Rozier the day it happened. And guess what? The NBA, Rozier didn't play the rest of the season, and he had faked the injury. So it wasn't because of the injury. The NBA pulled him. Now, that does sound a little bit like maybe some, take being made or something. But also, if he is, going to go ahead and lie about the injury, I don't blame him playing it out. But then the NBA has a serious out, too, of, hey, what the fuck's going on? And then the investigation was launched into him, et cetera, et cetera. Overall, I know for a fact that this has put a lot of distrust into the gambling community. And not like gamblers like us, because we've been on this for a while, and a lot of sharp bettors have been on this for a while. But like the retail bettors, the gamblers that more do it for fun, or they only bet on the NBA, they only bet on college basketball. Just taking a pulse around my office today, I mean, guys are like, I'm not surprised. Like, it's the NBA. Like, I should have saw this coming. Like, it doesn't make sense when guys just go so cold or so hot and yada, yada, yada. And it's just like kind of a disinterest into it. And I'm not saying gambling is going to slow down on the NBA whatsoever. I'm not saying that, people just aren't going to gamble on it. But I think we're going to slowly see what's Adam Silver getting his wish of prop bets slowly starting to maybe go away or not being as profitable for the books, not as many bets on them.
See, I think the market's so huge. I don't necessarily see that happening because I got to imagine the books make more money on prop bets.
Yeah. Oh, that's where they make their money, is props and parlays.
Yeah, parlay is obviously a huge thing, but then you talk about the prop bets versus the bettors that the books are losing money on are the ones who are straight betting spreads, reasonable money lines, over unders, that type of thing. and doing their research and making good bets on those. Those are the bettors at the sports books. They're not going to black book you, but
they'll
don't
limit you. They will not. They'll take away some of the bonuses or whatever. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they'll do all
No,
that.
they love their parlay bettors. They love their prop bettors, especially their same game parlay bettors that do often include prop bets. And so I don't see the books getting rid of this. I think the books. I could see the books using this as future validation to not pay out certain bets that won, but they at the end of the day have the ultimate say and say, no, we're going to use this reasoning and logic for not paying you out.
Yeah, and sports books have been doing that. And the one thing that I've been unhappy with, if we're just talking about gambling in general, is the amount of sports book that I'm seeing go back on prop bets, especially when it comes to the NFL and when it comes to injuries. Because first of all, like, I get it, it's more of a marketing thing. If you have a low month of a signups or whatever, and a couple sports books, like my sports book has never in my life said, "Oh, so sorry, this guy got injured. Here's your money back." And my book won't, but that's because it's a Vegas casino that I'm going through, and I get that.
And they've but that's a whole nother conversation we could get into even deeper.
Yeah.
Where your book is based, how big it is, all that other stuff. I know like DraftKings, a couple other of them have introduced bets now where if you take players prop bets in most of the big sports and they get injured before halftime, then you get your wager back, which they don't even have to do because you assume that risk. The only time that the bet gets voided and nulled is if the player doesn't play at all.
Exactly. And if they are announced out before the game starts is typically when those are, not if they're injured in the first quarter on the first play or anything.
That's some of them. Short finish to that is, if you're betting with some offshore book, there's not really any regulations on that. They can basically say, no, we're not honoring this bet for any given reason. And if they're offshore, you don't really have any leverage against them. And there's even smaller books here based in the States that they'll do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Probably assuming you're not going to go hire a lawyer to launch some lawsuit about this bet. And if you do, they think they probably win that lawsuit anyways. So it's like, they're like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? They see your account balances. They're like,
yeah.
They're like, oh, we know you're betting $5 units. You ain't going to hire a lawyer about losing this.
No.
This $27 parlay.
No, but getting back to like the NBA of the whole thing, Noah, this is just another speed bump and mistake that the NBA has allowed for itself. Because, you know what I mean? And going into the season, not as nearly as much hype about the NBA starting as we usually see, because you've got to, in the NFL, in every sport now, you've got to pay for all these streaming services. And the schedule that the NBA has set up is absolutely insane for which streaming service or which platform or which cable channel has which game. And it's just another, I guess, bullet in the chamber for NBA haters and people that don't like the NBA or borderline, if I'm going to watch this season, not watch this season, just kind of making that decision. Like, well, if it's rigged, why the hell am I going to watch it? And the NBA player handbook or whatever it's called, staff handbook, is explicitly essentially says, like, you can go ahead and gamble. You can go ahead and do whatever the hell you want. Just don't bet on NBA games. I think every league at this point just needs to go with a very strict no gambling policy. Like, let's not even leave it up to chance. And I get it. Like,
why I was really worried with the NCAA exploring and proposing
approved the day before this all came out. Approved yesterday. Like,
and to allow college players to bet on professional sport. Like, these players know each other. They're interconnected between leagues, even between college and professional. Like, there are lots of connections that go on here. And so it's very akin to like insider trading, which goes on all the fucking time. Not going to get into that at all, but this is basically the insider trading of sports. So we have information that's not available to the public and not available to it's available to such a small pool of people. But then if you open the door to allow them to bet using that
Exactly.
information, they have an edge, a definitive edge over anybody else who may be gambling. And the big problem is that, like you talk about integrity of the game, it just opens so many doors to doing things that just take away the legitimacy of a game,
Exactly.
because somebody's got money on it and whatever. But
and to continue on that point, why it's such a bad idea with the NCAA. Noah, where did we meet? We met in college as random roommates because we knew a guy who knew a guy. And we still talk to this day. You're telling me T. Higgins and Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen don't still talk to their college buddies? And again, I'm not trying to insinuate anything, obviously, but to your point, Noah, just opens it up, I sent a text to you, I'm in the league and you're in college still. And I sent a text to you, dude, my ankle's really hurting. I don't think I'm playing this week. Oh, okay. Well, the book still has your stats up. So let me go ahead and take the under or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Or if you do play and you're playing hurt, but I know that you're playing hurt, but it doesn't show up on an injury report, then
exactly. And then you're just you're opening it up and you're opening these kids up. And and I think we need to remember again, the amount of incredible athletes that go through the college system, why NIL is such a big deal. A lot of those kids come from nothing. And this is their time to make their money off of their hard work and the skills that they've worked on throughout life. And again, it's easy for everybody to get sucked into, well, if I take this money, I can feed my family for the rest of our lives or whatever it may be. And you're introducing that temptation, especially with allowing college kids to sports bet. My thing is at my job, I am not allowed to trade big stocks. I cannot trade Fortune 500 companies. That's just in our handbook and everything. And I accepted that with the role I took. You know what I mean? And every job, everything that you do has certain things that you can't do. And so if I'm a college, if I'm a sports team, whatever, I'm putting in my handbook, no gambling. Let's not even fucking start it. I don't want to see you guys in Vegas. I don't want to see you guys doing anything. Let's just go ahead, put a blanket on it, and then do it when you retire, bro. Do it when you retire. And that's the biggest problem. These guys are in the league making millions of dollars. It's not like either Terry Rozier or Chauncey Phillips were getting paid, sack lunch or anything like that. They were making very good money. And then...
Well, Rozier's been tied to this shit for a couple of years now.
Oh, everything, yeah.
I thought it was really ripe that his agent comes out today and says he doesn't gamble.
Yeah, that was great. It's great. It's great that he doesn't gamble.
Not
so glad.
Blanket statement. Oh no, he doesn't gamble. He wouldn't do this. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this pans out. Obviously, not a good look for the NBA. Road Dogg is the NBA cook, but NBA has been cooked.
Has been.
And the burner's not off yet. They're still getting
no. Oh my God, this is going to drag out, and not only is this going to drag out,
there's going to be more.
Oh, you're telling me that these are the only two involved? No shot. You've got the Gambino, the whatever, and the whatever families. It's literally out of The Sopranos. All of these families are involved, and you're telling me it's only Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups? I think this is just the beginning of this story. And a lot more to come out. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas, apparently ratting on everything and getting away scot-free. His Twitter and stuff on the Arenas podcast was hilarious today. Absolutely hilarious.
U of A's finest, No Chill Gill. There's a reason his nickname is No Chill Gill.
What a dog. But
he speaks his mind. Sometimes that's the truth, and sometimes it's heavily opinionated. But I gotta love Gilbert.
And Road Dogg, to your point, is the NBA cooked? Like Noah said, it's been on the burner. This is a very hot. I was expecting low ratings this year in general, but I think with this announcement, not only are we going to see lower ratings, we will see a lower handle sports betting wise. The books will see a lower handle on how many bets are placed or how much money I think is placed. And Noah, I think to the detriment of us, more people are going to come to college basketball,
You know
which
what?
I do think is a slippery slope as well. But I think that's, fine. And they caught that one gambling ring that was quote unquote, just betting all of these mid-major games. And it was, they were saying that, I know exactly. But like people got arrested for betting shit ton of money on Middle Tennessee State, first half to cover the spread. That is our bread and butter.
That's because I think what these people aren't thinking about is how quickly these books flag irregular betting patterns, especially when they're coming from multiple accounts, especially when they're coming in.
They're not unit betting like we are. Like they're not
coming in abnormally large wagers, specifically from newer accounts. Like
that's also true. Yeah, or accounts that have been dormant for a long time, and then a huge bet comes in. Yeah,
which they're not dumb. There's so many millions of dollars involved with this. Like these books quickly, in a matter of minutes, are figuring out, and it's not even a person. It's literally their computers and their software, their systems. It's saying, like, it'll just flag shit and send it up to a person to review and say, hey, this looks weird. And then in a matter of minutes, they're like, oh yeah, why did we get $50,000 worth of wagers on some bench player's prop? That's a huge red flag. I just think with the amount of money that's involved in the sports gambling industry, like you got to be real smart or real careful or a combination of the two if you're doing something to get it past like to get away with. Like you're not going to get away with that shit, right? Like it's just not going to happen. And
no. And if you are going to do it in round robins. Not that I'm like suggesting you put together a gambling syndicate or anything, but when my time at a sports book, these guys would come in and just place thousands of dollars in round robins. And it took the book 4 months before they had enough on their end to limit them. And they had already taken them for million and a half at that point. Like,
well, I suppose if you're taking a less favorable line.
Exactly. And they were doing full covers. They were very smart about it. Like round robins would be the way to do it. But
no, makes sense, right? Because if you are extremely confident because you have insider information that a minus 10.5 is going to hit, just take it at minus 4.5, because then it's like, oh no, I sold those 6 points because I wasn't sure about it.
Oh yeah, do the teasers and stuff too. Yeah, throw a teaser in there. But the round robins, I think, because it's not used often, like, yes, it does raise red flags. Like, I was limited for a little bit on my round robins during the baseball season because I was just doing round robins. And then they were like, okay, we'll only let you put X amount of dollars on your round robins, like per leg now. And I'm like, okay. And then they realized I was just losing. Like, I had 2 good days and then I was just losing. So they lifted that. But that's a whole other story.
AJ.
It's the round robins, bro. It's the round robins. That's the way to go. But anyway,
anyways, yeah, I was just gonna say, AJ, we're gonna do a little reversal of order this week. We're gonna cover the NFL first. I know we're about halfway through the first quarter in the Vikings-Chargers game. I've got all my numbers from yesterday, AJ, because last minute we had to push the show back. So I had this at -3. I don't know what it was at.
It closed at -3 at my book, and so that's what I'm going off of.
All right. I'll let you take back the reins here in a second after this game. But -3, I'm not exactly sure what the over/under was at, but I took the Chargers. I took the under in this one. That's where I was at.
Public was closing in on, the Vikings at +3. Carson went 7-0 on the season on Thursday Night Football, but the Vikings with
7-0 this season on Thursday Night Football.
No, 7-0 in general on Thursday Night Football. Noah, that's why I said Carson Wentz on Thursday Night Football is 7-0, and not just Carson Wentz is 7-0 on Thursdays. Or even then, that's not possible. Shut up, Noah. You're just
I was just giving.
No, shut up. Let me finish my thought.
You said Carson Wentz on Thursday Night Football this season, 7-0.
No, I didn't. Roll it back. Anyway.
Somebody roll the tape. Let us know.
Anyway, but Vikings 0-12 on the road in their last 12 games. I took the Chargers, fading the public, fading Carson Wentz and the Vikings, and liking how, oh my God, yeah, that was direct. Like he launched himself. That was head to head. Wow.
If this is college football, that would be a targeting, but we're just
That
going
is
to get
targeting.
passer. Chargers first and goal here, 5.5 left in the first. I believe over under was at, what was it, 47, 48, somewhere in there?
It was somewhere around there. I wonder what it's sitting out now. I can check real quick. Give me 2 more seconds. My computer will work with me. Total sitting at 43.5 right now. I mean, 5:29 left in the first. Yeah, I think it was sitting around 45, 40.
It might have been 46. It was somewhere in the 46, 47, 48.
Yeah.
I don't really remember exactly, but again, I'm on the Chargers and the under in this one.
I'm probably going to take a live under, but I've been on the Chargers since Monday.
Wait till the Chargers get this in the end zone. Although,
and then take the under.
If you have to kick a field goal or turn it over, then you might be screwed. But
true. We'll wait though. We'll see what happens. But
still gonna be a good under to take, I think.
No, I agree. I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah. Anyways.
Sorry, 1 second.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
No, but
okay.
Sorry. Anyway, next game on the slate. Well, let's go ahead and go with what?
No overseas games this week, so we don't have to worry about that.
Thank God. Which, by the way, like I get it. Let's grow the game and shit, but
no, it's good. I'm still trying to adjust to like fantasy wise when this happens like over half the weeks of the season, and I'm like, I need to. I'm like, oh fuck, and then I usually remember, but then every now and then I just forget, and then it's halftime already, and I haven't really been burned by it yet this season, but there have been a couple times I forgot, and then I'm like, okay, never mind. I had the lineup that I wanted anyways. But I know that Vikings-Steelers game specifically because Jaylen Warren got ruled out morning of, and I know a lot of that's kind of the one big one this season where a lot of people woke up and were like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck?"
You had Kenneth Gainwell, or you had an opportunity, which most people probably did, to pick up Kenneth Gainwell off the waiver wire. Dude had 30 plus points in that game. And so a lot of people with Jaylen Warren in their starting lineup. Anyways, that's a minor thing. I think I'll get more used to it as we're having those games more weeks than not going forward, which I'm sure we'll continue to have more and more of them.
I mean, we're getting to the point where we're going to have a game overseas every game of the week, except probably the last week.
But that's okay. We just got our normal morning slate.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Or noon slate or 1 p.m. slate, depending on what part of the country you're in.
No, we're on the West Coast. It's the early slate, okay? It's the early slate because, again, there is no better place to watch sports than the West Coast, and I will die on that hill, okay? I will die on that hill. Anyway, let's get to the early slate, Noah. We have got interesting games, I will say, and interesting lines to follow the interesting games. Let's get into it.
Yeah,
starting with
a lot of full touchdown spreads here.
A lot of them. Starting with Bills-Panthers here. Bills, 7-point favorites, 46.5 is the total. We are looking at 76% of the bets, 81% of the money on.
Just give it to me.
The Bills. Coming in on the Bills. Road favorite here. Lines at 7.5 at some books. Opened up at 7, so not seeing a lot there. And the money line, 95% of the bets, 98% of the money, on the Bills money line as well. Noah, I think this is where you start to spew your Panthers propaganda, isn't it? Because I mean, the Bills haven't. Let me finish. The Bills haven't. They've looked good. Josh Allen has looked solid. That offense has looked fine at times. That defense leaves a lot to be asked for, and the Panthers, kind of like you said at the beginning of the year, just seem to be getting a little bit better, and a little bit better, and have been winning football games and putting the pieces together. Bryce Young seems to figure it out.
That
like
run
crazy.
that run game's dialed in. That's the biggest thing.
Oh yeah, the run game's dialed in too. Thank you for reminding me. Like, bro, you're throwing a full touchdown at me. I mean, I might shop for that 7.5. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
That 7.5 does look nice and tempting. Carolina's won 4 of their last 5 games. Yes, that's right. The Carolina Panthers have won 4 of their last 5 games. Don't look at the schedule to see who they played. But Bills coming off of back-to-back losses. Game being played in Carolina. I mean, it's got to be really tempting there. That being said, I'm going to sell the half point. I'm going to take the Bills minus 6.5. I just think they're just a much better team, and I do not see the Bills losing 3 in a row. Carolina could cover this, but I really don't see them winning unless something crazy happens. I do like this Panthers team a lot. I think they're trending absolutely in the right direction. If they do win this game, then they have the same record as the Bills with a head-to-head over them. I know they're in different conferences, so the tiebreakers don't matter, but I'm going to take the Bills. It's a win-win for me. It's a win-win. Either the Bills win and I'm correct or I'm wrong, but then my take about the Carolina Panthers being a legit-ass football team totally stands on legs. Not that it's not correct already, but if they take care of business there, I assume some NFC teams above them lose. If Carolina somehow wins this game, gets to 5-3, they're going to be in that playoff picture, which is wild. Did we think that?
Yeah.
Did we think we were going to be here? No, most people didn't. Myself, I did. But
good for you, Noah. Good for you. I think Carolina is going to be that team next year that I'm really high on, that had like a good season this year and then really has a solid season next year. But I'm with the Bill. I'm on the Bills as well. I'm going to take the full 7 that's being offered to me. I do think they win this one by like a field goal and a touchdown or something like that. Maybe 3 field goals.
I could see the Bills winning this by double digits.
Honestly, yeah.
It feels like one of those where the Bills have obviously the last 2 weeks after a really hot start definitely underperformed. Panthers are coming into their groove. They're playing really well. They're beating teams that they should be beating. Sneaking out a couple wins against teams that they maybe shouldn't have beaten. But at the end of the day, it's the Bills versus the Panthers. And, I think this line is at an even touchdown because the book is a little nervous that Carolina might show up yet again and keep this close. And they might be a little worried that the Bills have another down week, a third down week in a row, which isn't a ridiculous train of thought. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm on the Bills.
Let's go ahead and move it on. 49ers, Texans. Texans, 2-point favorites at home, minus 132 on the money line. 41.5 is the total.
Favorite
85.
This Texans team has been favored almost every game this season.
Bro, it's insane. And 85% of the bets, 88% of the money coming in on the 49ers plus the 2.5. Line opened up at 1.5, moving to 2.5 with the continuation of Mac Jones still being at quarterback. And I guess everyone being injured. I mean, Noah, this is serious reverse line movement, and the book is staying firm on the Texans being favored here. And I mean, even the money line, bro, is grossly all on the 49ers. And the public is hitting at a god-awful rate this year. The last week was the first real public week that we had, but I feel like there is something the book knows. Like for this game, there has to be something the book knows. We've seen how this 49er team performs. And even with Mac Jones, I mean, he's a carbon copy of Brock Purdy, maybe with a little bit better arm. And so he steps in and looks just fine. Give me a George Kittle anytime touchdown as well. Shout out National Tight Ends Day.
And he's back on National Tight Ends Day.
And he's back on National. He was back last week too, but I think he'll have his return party this week on National Tight Ends Day.
Could have fooled me.
I know he didn't play. He didn't do much last week, but it feels like the trappiest of trap games. Everything is telling me, like numbers wise, not to take it, but I'm gonna take the points with the 49ers. I'm gonna sprinkle that money line with a George Kittle 2+ touchdowns and call it a day. I haven't seen anything on the injury report that stands out that the line should be like this, especially with the Texans' performance. Maybe they think that defense is going to be able to step up against Mac Jones and, the weapons he has. Where's Brandon Ayuk? Who knows? But that's kind of the only thing I can get from that. And the Texans playing at home, so go ahead, give them 3 to start. But this one stinks to high hell for me.
I'll agree with that statement. I'm just a quick run through for the Texans schedule so far this year, right? Really close, low scoring loss at the Rams to start the season. Get the Bucks at home in a game where they really thought they probably should have won that, and then Baker comes down with a game-winning touchdown drive to win that game at one point. Lose at Jacksonville by 7. That's probably the worst game that they've had all season. Blow out the Titans, blow out the Ravens, and then at Seattle in a game that they were totally in until the very end of it. This team's a couple plays away from being 4-2, maybe one could argue even 5-1. They don't look overly impressive. The defense looks nice. I will give them that. The offense has issues, and Nico Collins is more than likely not playing. He's not officially been ruled out. I think he's still.
But he hasn't been ruled in.
No, he's still listed as questionable. They haven't moved him down to doubtful, but it sounds like from the buzz that I'm hearing, that I'm reading, Nico Collins very well might not be playing this game. San Francisco's so fucking injured. This just feels like a 1 or 2 point loss for Houston to me. I will say I do reserve the right to change my mind on this, because if Nico Collins is playing in this game, I'm okay taking Houston minus like a 1.5 type of spread at home. Whoever wins this game's going to be so fucking razor thin. If you're betting on this, don't fuck around with the spread. Just take a goddamn money line and do yourself a favor. Unless you can catch like San Francisco at like a 2.5, 3, then
3. Yeah, you get a full 3, then maybe hope for a push if you're not going to win. But
there's no shot in hell they're moving this to a full 3.
They're more likely to put it in a pick-em, I think, before they move it to a 3.
2.5 is probably the best you're going to get. I wouldn't be surprised if the books fuck around and leave this at like a 1.5 line, just in case it's a 1 point game. Or they might do the same thing with like a 2.5 line. I don't know. We'll see. For now, I'm on San Francisco to win this. Again, I do reserve the right to change my pick, because I'm picking that assuming there's no Nico Collins, and then the Texans are literally running with like a Xavier Hutchinson, Jalen Noel. It's not a great wide receiver room going into that if you have no Nico Collins. At all. That's a big difference.
No, you don't like it. You don't like it.
We'll see. That's a tough game that I might flop on.
Well, let's keep it moving, Noah. Next one, Cleveland Brownies going up against the New England Patriots. Patriots, 7-point favorites at home. 40.5 is the total. 63% of the bets. 53% of the money coming in on the Patriots. Line opened up at 5.5, moving to 7.5 at some books. All of the money is on the Patriots money line in this one, Noah. And I've got to say, pisses me off, but this is a damn good Patriots team. Mike Vrabel has those guys going in the right direction. They've looked sharp this entire season. Big emotional win last week, probably for Vrabel. Just a nice little, like, glad to kick little guy while he's down. Thanks for firing me, and I get to go home.
And now they have probably the easiest schedule in the NFL ahead of them. So
yeah, give me the Patriots.
Buffalo's the team that should be worried, because Buffalo's got a tougher schedule, and the Patriots get a bunch of fucking cupcake games, and they already have the tiebreaker over Buffalo. If you're a Bills fan, if you're the Bills, you might need to be a little worried about this team.
Yeah, give me the Patriots minus the 7. I will say I think this is going to be a good one to live bet. I think the Browns defense is going to hold up at least for the first half. Might be able to, catch this line at Patriots minus 3.5, 4.5 or something like that, just to get a little extra cheddar on it. But I do think at the end of the day, they come out by a full touchdown.
Yeah, talk about another even 7 that just absolutely stinks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Man. Which I will say, shout out to the books, because I think every time that we both agree that a line is just terrible, what we're saying is we mean that line is probably spot on with what it needs to be.
Yeah, that's exactly where the book should put it. Like, there's no edge. Like, if we would put it through one of our systems, like, it would cut out that number.
Yeah, I did. Oh God, are we going to see the Cleveland that we saw last week? What Browns team are we going to see? Because this defense has looked really good for the majority of the season. The offense just they clicked last week, but they played the Dolphins as one of the worst defenses in the league. I just don't see Cleveland's offense getting anything done. I do love the under on this game. I am going to take the Patriots to cover a touchdown. Mike Vrabel and company, let's keep it fucking moving. I don't think Drake May is going to have a tremendously great game. I think the run game is going to be difficult to get established for the Patriots. But I'm going to say I like them in about a 17-6 type of game. I think Patriots defense is going to come up big in this one.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to call my shot now. Not Jake Browning. What's his name? Who the fuck is the Browns quarterback right now?
Dillon Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel throws 2 interceptions in the first half. We see Shedeur in the second.
You think
I'm calling the shot?
It could happen.
I think we're still a little early, but if it was going to happen mid-game, I think it would happen this mid-game, especially if the Patriots are up by double digits, maybe 3 touchdowns at the half. Hey, let's throw the kid in there, see what he's got.
It could be if they're getting spanked. I did say week 8, week 9 was probably, before the season started, week 8, week 9 was kind of where I had circled week 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there that we might see Shedeur Sanders get his first opportunity. Is he going to look any better? I don't know. But I can tell you, I got more faith in Shedeur Sanders than Dillon Gabriel, and that's more of a knock on Dillon Gabriel than hype.
Well, we've also been watching Dillon Gabriel for the last 4 weeks and have seen what he's put out, and that's not been the best product.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep it moving, Noah. Let's go to the Jets and the Bengals. Bengals, 6.5-point favorites at home, -320 on the money line. 44.5 is the total. 78% of the bets, 83% of the money coming in on the Bengals. Just a little under a touchdown, Noah, by a hook.
Love it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This was at 7.5. I'm probably leaning on the Jets, but 6.5 with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins lined up on the other side of that defense. I don't give a shit who your quarterback is. They're going to score a couple of touchdowns. So go ahead and give me the Bengals -6.5.
Yeah, here's my thing. Jets give up 31 points to Dillon Gabriel and the Browns. Bengals offense looked like it was clicking because you bring in Joe Flacco, and then he figured out this crazy thing.
Jamar Chase is really good at football.
The Joe Burrow knows very, very well, but apparently Jake Browning never really got the MO on that. Throw the fucking ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and good things happen. Good things happen. You don't even need to be impressive. Just get them the ball, get them in space. They're going to do their thing. This Jets team is really bad. Justin Fields
is so bad.
I don't think is the necessarily right decision.
Well, hold on. He might not be benched. Tyrod Taylor limited in practice due to a knee injury. Bro, Tyrod Taylor, I feel so bad for this guy. Every time it seems he's going to get a shot, there's something that comes up. It's unbelievable. But anyway.
Yeah. No, the Jets are a fucking shit show. Cleveland seems like they've been playing better. They played decent against the Packers. Joe Flacco obviously had less than a week to prepare for that. I don't really think it matters. I think his amount of experience in the NFL and all this allowed him to come in. Yeah, playbook might have been a little more limited, but they opened it up a little bit last week. Steelers defense is not tremendous this year, but they're not, they're no laughing stock or anything like that. And he kind of tore them up. And I will say Jamar Chase and T. Higgins kind of tore him up more than Joe Flacco did. But I mean, yeah, but I don't see a scenario where the Jets get close enough to keep this within a touchdown. And Cincinnati, I believe they win this, they get back to 500.
Yeah, they could win this, get back to 500. They're back in the hunt and just waiting for one
Joe
of the
Burrow,
Joes.
I saw a target date for Joe Burrow's like early to mid-December. So, if he stays on, if they can hover right around 500, a game above, game below, something like that, you reintroduce Joe Burrow to this offense, and this team's playoff hopes are still alive, especially with a win over the Jets. would be demoralizing if they lost to the Jets, but I just don't see a world where that happens.
Yeah. Road Dog, I have seen that guy. He is awesome. And honestly, if I didn't have a wife, I'd probably do that for the D-back season next year.
That's absolutely wild too.
Yeah.
Because the Bengals are traveling the most miles of any team in the entire NFL this year. I believe I want to say the Chargers maybe were the
Chargers are the second probably.
No, I think the Chargers were like least amount of travel somehow.
Oh, really? Shit. Well, shout out to the Chargers.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know. It had a lot to do with like stacking multiple home games in a row.
Yeah.
Because
all
the
right,
Bengals
let's go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, we'll keep it moving. But yeah, Bengals are pretty much home away, home away, home away, home away, and they gotta fly all over the fucking place.
I hate this game. I hate this game with a passion, and
or it was the opposite way around. The Bengals are never mind. Doesn't matter. Look it up on.
Doesn't matter. Bears, Ravens, 6.5-point favorites. 49.5 is the total. Noah, do we have confirmation that Lamar Jackson is playing this week? Because I know I've heard a lot of rumors and like everything's pointing to him playing, but I have not received.
Well, I don't think we've had official confirmation, but I think all you need to know, AJ, is that the Ravens are 4.5-point favorites in this game.
6.5. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, my bad. I don't know how to read. Yeah, I think all the confirmation you need to know that Lamar is back in this lineup, even though it hasn't been officially announced, is that the Ravens are sitting as 6.5 fucking point favorites in this game.
And
how terrible their defense has been. They're still 6.5 point favorites, and they're not 6.5 point favorites with Cooper Rush or Utah guy. I can't remember his name.
Not remember his name either, but that's the point.
Tyler Huntley.
Oh yeah. And 45% of the bet, 67% of the money coming in on the Ravens. So heavy money coming in on that spread under a touchdown. And all the money coming in on Ravens money line too. Noah, this game I would like to officially dub the coming to Jesus moment for the Chicago Bears, because we are about to go up against arguably the worst defense in the NFL. And Caleb Williams will not look good. I'm don't get me wrong, Noah. I've watched the tape on the Ravens defense. They suck. They're covering, like, everything about them just doesn't work. That line doesn't get any pressure. They do a lot of soft coverages on the DBs. I'm taking the Ravens minus the 6. I'm taking Caleb Williams for an interception. I'm taking under on total points for the Chicago Bears because, Bears fans, yes, we have won games, but let's remember what the point of this season was. Did Caleb Williams develop, and is he better, and is he getting better every week? And I do not believe that he has been getting better every week. I do not believe that he is as good as people are starting to think he is. I think this is going to be a real coming to Jesus moment for Chicago Bears fans and the state of Caleb Williams in that offense. Give me the Ravens minus the 6.
Yeah. Ravens are such a fucking different team with Lamar playing. Again, we've had the conversation. Like, this is why he's 2-time MVP, probably could have easily been 3-time MVP, is because the true meaning of MVP, he means more to this team than I will die on the hill that right now Lamar means more to this Ravens team than any other individual player means to their team. He is.
Well, since the Bengals got Joe Burrow, I agree. I mean, Joe Flacco, I agree with you now.
Yeah, I don't know, though. This defense is my problem here.
I get it.
You look at what Caleb Williams did against the Cowboys defense, which is probably close to as bad as the way Baltimore's looked. I feel like the Bears are going to make this a game. I'm going to take the Bears plus 6.5. I'm not taking them on the money line because I feel like this game is going to end with the Bears doing things in true Bears fashion, and either the Bears are missing a field goal or the Ravens are making a field goal to win the game as time expires. Give me that. Some book give me that prop bet that last play of the game field goal attempt. That's what.
Well, we doinked one in earlier this season, so we're due for a triple doink out.
You did doink one
I
in.
I texted you. I will never forget it. That was one of the most depressing moments, happiest and depressing moments of my life. Was reliving
Oh,
the double doink and then seeing it go in. Like I was like, wow, what could have been? What fucking could have been?
you're like, oh, you mean a doink doesn't have to be a bad thing?
Bro, and you know what's really pissed me off? Like, I feel like every week I see at least two doinks go in. And it's like, bruh, like what? Like a Monday Night Football, wasn't it Monday Night Football where they had that one that just like doinked and barely, and I mean barely went through the fucking upright. Like
Yeah, which is
any
crazy
team but
because
the
those
Bears. Anyway,
uprights are only about maybe a tiny bit wider than the football actually is. So
yeah, it's fucking incredible, Noah. It's fucking incredible. Anyway, next game on the slate. Dolphins, Falcons. Falcons, 7.5-point favorites here. All the money is on the Falcons. Totals at 44.5. Noah, I've been saying it since day one of this season, and I'm going to continue saying it. This Dolphins team is a cancer to themselves. They cannot get their own shit straight. Give me the Falcons minus 7.5. Probably going to buy this up to 10.5.
yeah, main thing I'm doing with this
Or
game,
sell off to 10.5. Excuse me.
yeah, main thing I'm doing with this game is taking all the absolute fucking overs on running back prop
Oh,
bets.
Bijan. Yeah, all the Bijan props. Give me them all.
Because the Dolphins have such a trash garbage run defense that Bijan's going to just have a fucking heyday.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you look at the flip side. This is going to be a really good Devon Achane game, I think, in this one as well. Those two are going to account for a lot of the scoring in this game, a lot of the yards in this game, and I do think there is a scenario that exists that we see a true old-fashioned, like high-scoring shootout in this one, and it's not a gunsling and throw it down the field shootout. It's a just neither team can stop the fucking run, and then the Falcons have this game not put away because oh shit, we can't stop the run. And I hate that I'm doing this. I hate that I'm doing this because I think the Dolphins D is going to get absolutely torched, specifically by Bijan. But I'm going to take with the 7 in the hook. I'm going to take the Dolphins to cover 7.5. I am on the over on this game as well.
Nah, dude, it's going to be all Falcons. They're going to be the Jackal instead of the High.
What have I said about the Dolphins, though? They hang in games when Achane is heavily involved and
I know.
And they've done that like 3 times this season, and they've been in or won all of those games. When they get blown out, it's when Achane is not able to carry the weight of that offense, which is crazy that in today's day and age in the NFL, it's not very often that we say if your running back can't carry the weight of your offense, they can't perform. But that's how this Dolphins team is right now.
For sure. Let's keep it moving. Noah, next game on the slate. Last one in the morning slate. Giants, Eagles, 7.5-point favorites. 44 is the total. 54% of the bets, 52% of the money coming in on the Giants, Noah. And I get why the money's coming in on the Giants. Don't get me wrong. Drop it. Nope. I get why the money's coming in on the Giants, Cam Scatterby, Jackson Dart, beyond exciting. And, they're a very exciting duo, a new duo, a winning duo in New York, which we haven't seen in a while. Eagles are going to take a shit on them at home. I mean, like, I know how the last outcome was and everything, but it feels like we're at that part of the season where the Eagles turn it on, figure it out. They kind of showed that last week, and I think they continue that into this week. Give me the Eagles at home, minus the 7.5. Not even going to buy it down. And Road Dog, no, I do not think there is any college team that can beat the Dolphins. And in general, I do not think there's college teams that can beat NFL teams.
Yeah, but that argument's always really funny every year when people
always.
There's not a
well, Bama could go out there and beat them. No, they can't. Promise. No.
It's just never going to happen. Ohio State, Indiana, you look at the top teams right now, they'd all get waxed by the Jets. They would get waxed by the Jets.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's, because even on the shitty rosters in the NFL, you're looking at these guys, and this is all comprised about the guys who played for the Bamas, Georgia, but they were starters, and they were some of the better
best
players,
starters.
all these Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Penn State, whatever teams you want to throw out there. So no, there's no fucking chance.
What do you got in this game?
Who do I got in this game? Yeah, I don't think Philly drops 2 to the Giants this year. I don't see that happening. My brain goes 2 ways with this one. Giants play really well. They play the way that they did in that first game. They gonna have a chance at winning this. And if the Giants that we saw against the Saints or that we saw in the fourth quarter, second half against the Broncos last week show up, they go get their asses beat. This Giants team is still figuring a lot of shit out. They're very young. They're explosive at times. They're dead at other times. I'm going to say Philly's coming into this with a massive fucking chip on their shoulder, and that's why I think I like the Eagles. I am going to probably buy this down to 6.5 or something like that. Not entirely sure yet. Because I do think the Giants could be competitive in this game. I'm not really sold with where the Eagles are at. But my biggest logic in this one is I think Philly's going to come in with a massive chip on their shoulder, and the Giants are just not going to have that chip because they already beat the Eagles 2 weeks ago.
I get it. And I bet Sirianni just had that score plastered absolutely everywhere in locker rooms and everything. And that's going to be the last thing they see going out, knowing Sirianni.
And I guarantee you they're not going to let Scatterboo in the end zone 3 times again.
No. They'll be stacking that box. That's for sure.
If the Giants are to win this game, they're going to have to do it on the defensive side, and they're going to have to do it with Jackson Dart throwing the ball because I think the Eagles are going to come out with a very, very heavy stop Cam Scatterboo game plan.
Please throw the ball over our head.
And I think if you got Scatterboo in fantasy, it's going to be really, really hard to put him on your bench, but you might want to.
You should. You really should. Yeah, the Eagles will be prepared this week.
And let's move to the afternoon. Available in your league or Theo Johnson. Might be an opportunity to pick him up because I do think, like I said, I think the Eagles are going to sell out so hard on stopping Cam Scatterboo.
He's not an NBA player, Noah.
Yeah, Cam Scatterboo. That I do think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Jackson Dart and a couple of the primary receivers for the Giants. Dart might have a really nice day, actually.
He might. No, let's move to the afternoon slate. Buccaneers, Saints, 4-point dogs at home, plus 180 on the money line. 46.5 is the total. The Buccaneers are about as injured as you can get right now.
We'll tell that to the Niners.
Yeah, true. Even with all the injury, 65% of the bets, 51% of the money still coming in on the Buccaneers, with all of the money coming in on them money line, Noah. This Saints team has been solid. I'm not going to try to I've been wanting to get on the Spencer Rattler sucks train, and unfortunately, he's played fairly well even in all these losses. With that being said, Baker Mayfield is still him. I'm not putting a lot past him on Monday. Not putting a lot on him there. The Lions had the best defensive performance I think we've seen under Dan Campbell since he's taken over. Give me the Buccaneers minus the 3.5, whatever we're catching it at day of.
Yeah, this line's just simply too low. Too low.
Yeah. Only opened up at 5.5. It's not like it opened up at a touchdown. I would have expected this one to be open at a touchdown, but
I know it's in New Orleans. I know Mike Evans now is out again, but Abuka didn't miss any games. He's back. Tez Johnson seems like an okay option. Cade Otton's had 3 good games in a row, stepping up when he needs to, and Rachaad White's been playing pretty well in Bucky Irving's absence. Which would be really funny if Bucky Irving misses a couple more weeks and Rachaad White just takes back that starting job.
Takes it back, yeah.
After
reverse what happened last year, yeah.
No, I think the two great running backs in Tampa Bay. They should absolutely run a running back by committee, which is going to piss people off in the fantasy world. But I think I don't see why you don't just give each of these guys 12 to 15 touches a game and then you got two great running backs. I thought Rachaad White completely losing that starting job towards the end of the last season was a little disrespectful to him.
Yeah.
He was playing super well, and then all of a sudden he just got phased out because Bucky Irving was playing slightly better. But you got 2 really young running backs. I think if you're Tampa Bay, once Bucky comes back, I think you just give them each 12 to 15 touches a game. Keep them both healthy. Fantasy owners are going to hate that. But this line is just simply too low. This line's simply too low because you got Baker Mayfield, who's having an MVP caliber season. You got Emeka Ibuka, who's on his way to easily be the offensive rookie of the year this year. And yeah, Tampa Bay, didn't look great against Detroit last week, but that's okay, whatever. They're going to bounce back huge here against the Saints.
They should. Let's keep it moving, Noah. Cowboys, Broncos, Cowboys. 3.5-point dogs on the road here, plus 145 on the money line. 51 is the total. Cowboys, 83% of the bets, 92% of the money on the 3.5. Line to open up at 5.5. Noah, that's what we like to call a little reverse line movement right there. Oh, no, that's actually moving with the line. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then only 61% of the bet, 42% of the money coming in on Broncos money line here.
A lot of people scared by the fact that they got down big time to the Giants. And they can thank their lucky stars they came back and won that goddamn game because I'm pissed. Cost me like a couple $100 on a little parlay there. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. Broncos did come back and win that. Broncos fans celebrating Bo Nix like he's some, miracle worker with two big comeback wins. They got to stop getting themselves in some goddamn holes.
Yeah.
Because this Cowboys team knows how to score points.
They do. They do. They know how to score a lot of points. CeeDee Lamb being back, that made a big statement last week. George Pickens still having a great game last week. I mean, Noah, with all that being said, I'm taking the Broncos minus 3.5 at home. I mean, this isn't I think the defense is going to be better than it was against the Giants. Sean Payton does better with guys that he has on film. He's got a lot of film on Prescott, got a lot of film on Lamb. I think he's going to be able to figure out a way to shut that down, even if that means triple covering Lamb and leaving Pickens open, but trying to at least draw a personal foul on Pickens at some point. I'm going to go with the Broncos minus the 3 here. I'm going to buy it down half a point, get the 3. You go for it, Noah. I got to get my Charger.
Yeah, I think that's smart. I'm very reluctantly with you on that, AJ, because this Cowboys defense knows how to score a lot of points, but they're also very good at giving up points. Denver's defense supposedly really great. They haven't really looked the part this season in a lot of times, and so I think I love the over in this game. I think this is going to be a high scoring shootout if I'm being completely honest, because Dallas's defense, I don't have any faith in them really stopping a whole lot. But I do think Dallas is going to have no problem putting up points on this Denver defense, regardless of how good they're supposed to be. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at this one. But yeah, we'll see. A couple inopportune picks from Bo Nix. If we're calling him Bo picks, the Cowboys could win this game. And again, I think the Cowboys are just going to fall a couple games short of making the playoffs this year. They don't look absolutely terrible, so I'll give them that. And we'll see what happens in this one. Not sure how far AJ is going to get this Charger that he's apparently looking at. Speaking of the Chargers, they're up 14-3, looking pretty nice in the first half here.
I'm back. Sorry, no, I had to get some shit together. I'm not at the house, and I had to get my generator, and I gotta.
Hey, I know you're not in your normal abode. You gotta get that figured out. But
which I do have a big announcement. Actually, we've got a new studio coming our way soon, brother. New studio design and everything. It's gonna be epic. But thank you for. I gotta turn it on. All right. Thank you for holding on. You did very well. That was a great little.
I was running out of breath there.
No, you did great. Let's go ahead and move on to the last game in the late slate, Noah. That being the Tennessee Titans going on against the Indianapolis Colts. Colts, 14.5-point favorites here. Noah, I do think this is one of the larger spreads we've seen this season out of the NFL.
I want to say it's the third highest we've seen this season through 8 weeks.
Probably. And rightfully so. 64% of the bet, 65% of the money coming in on the Colts, and same thing with money line, just all of the money. Uh, to quote Cam Ward, who I do think is going to be a good quarterback in this league, we asked. And the Titans are ass. So give me the Colts minus 14.5. Probably going to get this one at 21.5 just for fun.
Yeah, I'm in a weird spot with this one where it's a divisional matchup. I know it's in Indianapolis. The Colts have the best record in the league right now. 14.5 point spread. I'm gonna roll the dice here, and I'm gonna shoot my shot with the Titans on this one to keep this within 2 touchdowns. I'm not saying they're gonna win this fucking game. I don't see it happening, but a couple balls bounced the right way. Give me the Titans to keep this within 2 goddamn touchdowns.
Dude, my fucking generator is busted. God damn it.
Well,
all right. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. Fuck. Anyway, Sunday Night Football, Noah. We get to end the weekend with your Green Bay Packers against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, 3-point dogs at home, plus 135 on the money line. 45.5, is the total. In Aaron Rodgers' first game against the Packers, we are looking at 67% of the bets, 79% of the money coming in on the Steelers, 64% of the bets, 80% of the money coming in on Packers money line. Packers money line. Packers don't have the best record in Pittsburgh since the 70s, Noah. They are over, which is just a weird stat. But again, this is sports. There's weird
stats. Like 3, 4, something like that?
I think it was 7.
Since the 70s, okay.
No, yeah. Since the 70s. I think it's only been like 7 matchups in Pittsburgh where the Packers haven't been able to perform. What the fuck?
I'll let you go first on this one.
I'm in a weird spot in this one, Noah. I'm not going to lie to you, because I do see the downfalls of Pittsburgh. I see where they really I am going to shoot something. I hate technology. Anyway, I see the downfalls of the Steelers. With that being said, I can't watch how the Packers have been playing the last couple of weeks and not think that they won't get behind and maybe won't be able to come back from behind. Again, a closer game than probably should have been against the Cardinals. Granted, you guys were playing against an actual quarterback that we started instead of Kyler Murray. Which, by the way, I don't know if you heard, the Cardinals lost this week already, the bye week, because we announced we're starting Kyler next week. Yeah, so now we're really fucked.
Let me tiny violin here for you.
That's a regular size one for Kyler. Anyway, fuck me, dude. I'm going with the Packers minus the 3. I think they win this one by a touchdown. I think Jordan Love is good enough. And yeah, I understand the narrative behind it with Aaron Rodgers. And usually I'm that Disney guy who loves those type of stories and everything like that. But no, I just don't see it with this Steelers team. And I think that defense, I think TJ Watt is going to get in Jordan Love's head a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as much as people are expecting. Give me the Packers, give me the 3, and give me some love.
Yeah, well, AJ, to play off your movie narrative there, Disney. Yeah, I don't think we see a Disney storybook ending in this one. I think on the flip side, we see a teenage coming of age movie where the baton is finally formally passed from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love here, and dare I say, I'm not expecting a 400-yard game out of Jordan Love, but I'm not ruling it out. I think, we saw what Flacco did to this Pittsburgh Steelers defense a week ago. I think Jordan Love comes into this one, has a hell of a game against the guy that he took his job from. And, I think the hatchet's finally buried between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers and Packers fans. This is going to be the moment where Packers fans start having that hatred towards Rodgers that might have built up a little bit, fade away a bit. Same thing happened with Brett Favre. Brett Favre took a little bit longer to come back from because he did go to the Vikings, which was a real
wild move. Wild move.
But Rodgers is going to be in the Packers Hall of Fame.
Yep.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen someday after he retires. I don't think it's going to take as long as Favre because as long as he doesn't go to the Vikings or the Bears, we're going to be A-okay on that. I do think this is probably Rodgers' last season unless he feels an inkling to come back for the Steelers next year. But I feel like there's going to be some magic in the air, and it's not going to be on the Pittsburgh or the Aaron Rodgers side of the ball in this one. I think the Packers are going to have a statement win in this one after a loss to the Browns, a tie to the Cowboys before the bye week, a close call against the Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback after the bye week. I think this is going to be the game where Matt LaFleur and company, and this might be a supercharged game for Matt LaFleur being like, yeah, no, fuck this guy. We're going in hard on this. Rodgers is probably going to feel the same way, but he's got a lot more players and pieces to account for. Yeah, I think the Packers have no problem covering 3 points here in a primetime game. And there's going to be a lot of narratives regardless of what happens with this game, but I think the narratives are going to be very positively Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur at the end of this one.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree, Noah. Let's move it on to Monday Night Football, last game of the week. We do have the Washington Commanders going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Jaden Daniels out. Terry McLaurin more than likely still out. So we know how this Commanders offense is going to look. Chiefs 12.5-point favorites. 48 is the total. All the money on the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs minus the 12.5. We've seen how they've looked. This Commanders offense runs fine with Marcus Mariota, but with Terry McLaurin being out, like that's the biggest component of their offense right there. Bill hasn't really been able to get it going. Hopefully he can against the Chiefs and make it a close game, but I still think the Chiefs go ahead and cover this one by 2 tutties.
Yeah, all really good points. Chiefs are getting healthier. They're getting more players back. Healthier might not be the right word. Getting less suspended.
Getting less in trouble. Yes, I would agree.
I have not a lot of analysis for this one, but I have this weird, odd inkling that Washington keeps this close enough to cover the spread, and that is my analysis of why I'm on the Commanders on this one is 12.5. If this was at 8.5, 9.5, I'd be thinking a lot more. But 12.5,
sorry, Carson Wentz gripping his elbow.
Yep, it was only a matter of time until glass bones shattered and Max Brosmer.
Oh shit! Put Vikings money line.
I bet the fucking Vikings. Love that guy.
That's bad. He tore something.
I don't want any injuries. Don't want people to be injured. But if Max Brosmer gets a chance here and leads a comeback win, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
He tore something there.
Anyways,
I'm gonna put a flyer on the Vikings.
Yeah, I got this weird just gut feeling, and I'm following my gut that Washington covers this game in a real sloppy, shitty game. I feel like the Chiefs are just going to have a sloppy win in this one. And I don't know. I could be way, way wrong on this, but I just have this gut feeling that the Chiefs, after how well they've played the last couple weeks, just have a real sloppy win over Washington.
I get it. I get it, Noah. I get it. But that is all of the games on the NFL slate. No, you want to take a quick break and then we'll break down college football?
Yeah, 2-3 minutes and we'll be back.
Crosby to Cowboys rumors? Road Dog, you're talking about Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt? Or are you talking about Max Crosby? Because probably Max.
Crosby Merritt is not named Crosby, so I would assume Max Crosby.
Yeah, neither of us can read, Noah. Doesn't make sense. I don't think it's going to happen. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you go get Max Crosby when you could have signed Micah Parsons for probably the same amount of money? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
They might save $5 million a year.
They might. But, I mean, I don't know. And on the other side, I think I might be misremembering, but I believe Max Crosby has a no trade clause in there with the last deal he signed. And so he would have to okay it. But he seems like one of those guys at this point where, like, I mean, it's, grass ain't always greener on the other side. It just has a star on the helmet. Like, depends how he wants to go down. But I'm not buying a lot into it. I don't blame, like, I think honestly, the Bengals trading away Trey Hendrickson is a
It,
better
it, it's almost
possibility than Max Crosby.
well, no, because the Bengals are a 500 team and the Raiders aren't. But um, it's almost like the Cowboys are missing their star edge rusher.
If only they had
They
one
won't admit
when the
it. They
season
won't admit
started.
it. They won't admit it. But they saw 3 sacks last week against the Cardinals and said, "Oh, now we can't keep shitting on the Packers in the Packers fan base for Parsons only having 2.5 sacks because now he has 5.5."
I hate the Cardinals so much, dude. I
Um,
hate them. Like, I can't
anyways,
even be happy this week because I know Kyler is starting next week. Like, it's our bye week, and I got to live with the fact that Kyler Murray is starting next week, and we got to have the same coaching staff and everything.
well,
Anyway,
you watched the Bears by Lamar, so that's okay.
no, I'm such a miserable fan that the Titans fan who was shitting on me the other week, he's also a Mariners fan, and so I happened to put on his desk that maybe it's been 15,700 in some days since a World Series appearance.
Yeah, okay.
And so we've just gotten to that level of pettiness as me as a fan. So we're going to see how that develops.
AJ's just out here fighting shit with shit.
Suns won last night. That's going to last a whole week.
All right. Well,
but shout out Dylan Brooks. Love Dylan Brooks. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to recompose myself after talking about the Cardinals for 5 seconds. You'll get into college football. Before we do that, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit those follow buttons. Does help us out more than you know. I'm the Brofict one, AJ. That's the Money Train, Noah. We'll be right back. Right? Oh, I'm not ready. Hold up. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm good now.
All right, give me 2 seconds. I thought I was ready, and then I forgot. Other stuff was up that didn't need to be up. There we go. ESPN, please work. All right. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. 3, 2. And we are back. What's up, D-Gens? Brofect1 AJ here with the Money Train Noah, as we are getting ready to break down another just fantastic slate you have prepared for us today. Noah, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, I am. This one was really fun. Not as many big Power Five matchups this week, so we sprinkled in a little fun group of five action into this one at a couple places.
We did, Noah, and I do believe I missed a game at some point when I was putting my slate into the computer. So just let me know where I missed, and then we can go ahead and get to
as
that
always,
game.
if you skip one, I'll let you know.
Oh, I know you will. I know you'll catch my shit. Anyway, let's start off. First game on our slate, Noah. Oklahoma, Ole Miss. Oklahoma, 5.5-point favorites at home. 51.5 is the total here, Noah. And, you know, let's keep with the movie quotes, Noah, and the movie stuff. The Roosters are going to come home to roost. Okay. I think it's time for Ole Miss to accept where they are as a team, and for the AP to also accept where they are as a team. They have not passed the eye test. They look okay. They look serviceable enough. They have wins against SEC teams, which is big, I guess. But I just don't see it with them overall. I'm taking Oklahoma in a much healthier material here at -5.5 at home. I thought it was going to be closer to a full touchdown. But I'll take the 5.5 and be happy about it.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma takes care of business here in Norman. And as you said, Ole Miss hasn't really passed the eye test this year. They got all the way up to 4 in the rankings. Don't know how.
That was funny.
I think they lose yet again. I'm okay taking the 5.5 on Oklahoma because I do think they're going to be playing a little possessed, a little bit on a mission, and whoever loses, this is an interesting one because whoever loses is probably outside of that playoff talk. Not without a chance to get back in. Not without a chance to get back in for either team, but whoever does lose this one is going to be moved from the inside to the outside looking in. And
for sure,
I think the team that's going to be is the Ole Miss Rebels, who I already have down at like 17 on my rankings. If they lose this one, probably not dropping them fully out, but that number in front of their name is going to start with a 2.
Also, Ole Miss, Rebels, top 10 worst college names. Like, if you're going to be a fan of a team, the Rebels, like, oh, I'm a Rebel, oh my God.
I don't fully agree with that. I think there's definitely 10-plus names, mascots that you could say are worse than that. But anyway.
Maybe we do that for the start of college basketball. No, I'm sorry, for March Madness. Because that's when all of them are there. You know what I mean? We got 64 of them there, brother.
Yeah, no, let's table that, and then instead of
number one, Demon Deacon.
Instead of doing like the classic, like, oh, which mascot would win in a fight, we'll rank all 68 mascots from who's the coolest to who's the worst,
the most terrifying. I mean, Jesus, some of those get that. Anyway,
Chargers up 21-3. Well, assuming they make the extra point. Just a quick update.
Dude, it'd be so nice if they could fucking throw the ball to McConkey for 40 yards and a touchdown. That would be really fucking nice. I'm not McConkey. Quentin Johnston, excuse me.
Oh, well, McConkey just got a touchdown. But
yeah, that's fucking great. I wish I needed that. Anyway.
Yeah, if Carson Wentz comes back, which it looks like he is suiting up to come back in here for the rest of the half, I was kind of hoping to see Max Brosmer. But that's a row the boat Sky Umago Gophers type of take there. Anyways.
Let's keep it moving, Noah. Next one, USF, Memphis. USF, 6.5-point favorites on the road here. 58.5 is the total. 53% of the bets, 90% of the money. coming in on Memphis in this one, Noah. And I get it. I get it. It's a great
One more time. What were those breakdowns?
53% of the bets, 90% of the money on Memphis.
That's what I thought I heard.
Yeah. And I don't blame, I get why it is. It's a great bounce back spot for Memphis after the UAB loss, but that UAB loss has me more worried, than thinking that they're back. But that was a bad loss that they had against UAB, and I think it exposed more things about Memphis than other teams had been able to, because they haven't had that tough of a schedule. And I mean, USF's bad loss was against Miami at Miami when they were potentially going to the playoffs at one point, and still very might be going to the playoffs depending on the ACC championship. But I like USF a lot in this one. This line, I caught it at 4.5, so I will still take the 6.5 as long as it stays under a touchdown. I wouldn't be shocked if we see it go above a touchdown by the time kickoff goes, but I'm all over USF here.
Do we know why it's jumped 2 points? This is where I'm heavily relying on Road Dog in the chat to come through with why this has moved.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure it out.
Same thing with the NFL. I put my numbers on here right before we normally would have recorded last night, and it was at 4.5 then. I don't know if I love 6.5 quite as much, but the 4.5 I did love with USF. I do think they win this game from the pure standpoint of the fact that USF clearly week in and week out has shown that they are capable of scoring a goddamn shit ton amount of points. Their defense, I don't know that I love USF's defense, but their offense, holy shit, they look unstoppable. And going through conference play here, would have been real fun if game day potentially went here if Memphis hadn't lost UAB.
Yeah, they probably would have.
No, I still don't think they would have, because they had a chance to go to the Holy War last week and they didn't, because clearly they just love the SEC number 1 and the Big Ten number 2, and then you got to have a real strong argument for them to come and not just go to some SEC Big Ten game. But I'm going to ride with USF just because, God, they score a lot of points. They score so many points. It's just how do you keep up with that? And I'm on over 62.5. I know the over.
I'm on the over too.
But it just feels like USF in a lot of these conference games is going to be putting up 50, 60 points on their own. And Memphis, I believe, will be on the scoreboard. This could be a final score prediction on this one, 54-36. USF wins by 18.
And just to point out, we're seeing a full reverse line movement on this one. Line opened up Memphis minus the 3.5, now at 5.5 with 53% of the bets, 90% of the money.
Before they lost.
Yeah, no, but still, it was before they lost. But the book,
it would have been a ranked matchup had Memphis not lost last week.
But the point being, though, Noah, the money being all over Memphis at plus 5.5, still, we're still seeing that line creep up a little bit more towards USF. And like you said, the 2-point jump, I think the book is very comfortable in their position with USF, and I see them maybe taking it to 7 if they get enough money on Memphis, but I don't know. It's a wild line, and the book's going to have fun with that one, taking all of Memphis's money. But anyway, oh shit, I got to pull up the next game. Again, we're not the studio, so just give me a second. I'm adjusting.
Drum roll, please.
We are talking Utah State, New Mexico. New Mexico, 3.5-point favorites at home, 60.5 is the total here, Noah. Fuck, I missed a game. We'll go back to that game in a moment.
You're just going out over. It's fine.
It's fine. We're doing well here. New Mexico State, not the best losses that they have on their schedule, and their wins, in my opinion, have been a little bit closer than I was expecting personally out of this New Mexico team. Not only that, but Utah State, they performed pretty damn well against Check's notes number 10 Vandy or number 9 Vandy. Is 10, right?
10, yeah, 10 right now.
10, against number 10 Vandy.
Also had, I think, a 20-point loss to A&M.
Oh yeah, another pretty highly ranked school here who we both believe does very well. Um, Noah, if I was at the studio, I'd put it on a shirt. Give me Utah State money line to go into New Mexico, belt to ass. No, I'm not even talking a close win here. Belt to ass in this game with Utah State. I love how they've been performing. Their close losses make me feel a lot better about this game than anything, than their wins they have had this season. And the wins they've had this season have been great. Give me Utah State money line. This is going to be a banger of a game, but yeah, Utah State all day.
Yeah, they've hung in there fine. Again, with Vandy, with Texas A&M, that's two top 10 teams that they've had to play. They lost by 20 points each of them, but they didn't get.
But they were there.
They didn't get boat raced by 50. That's for sure. That being said, man. That being said, I am all over New Mexico minus the 3 at home. That's a big kicker for me. I'm okay with the 3 because they're at home. Jerry Kill revived this program. Who, by the way, Jerry Kill, where's he at right now?
Where? I really don't know. Please tell me.
Yeah, I figured you would, but I thought maybe there was a slight chance. Yeah, offensive coordinator at Vanderbilt.
That's right. My bad.
And crazy when he stepped away from head coach at the Minnesota program because of his seizure issues, and then just immediately went back into head coaching, and that was interesting. Not that that's the topic here. Jerry Kill built this program into being a competitive program, built up the recruiting with this New Mexico program. This is a good-ass New Mexico team. No shade to Utah State. Another very good team. The Mountain West is a phenomenal conference. Love the Mountain West, but I'm going to give the nod to New Mexico being here at home. I think they get it done in a gritty game, take care of business, and cover that 3 points.
Fair enough, Noah. Let's move back to the morning slate with Kansas State, Kansas. Kansas, 3.5-point favorites at home in that new, beautiful stadium they have. 56.5 is the total here, Noah. I don't know where I want to start here because, Avery Johnson has been promised to me to be this next coming of Trevor Lawrence. And I haven't seen a lickety-split of anything about that except the hair. And I think he has worse hair than Trevor Lawrence has, personally.
Well, he's got different hair. That's
Anyway.
What happens sometimes, AJ.
Anyway, let's get off the air and talk about his actual performance on the field, which has been less than stellar. He was a guy that was in Heisman conversations going into preseason, and we're not even thinking about him close to the Heisman because he hasn't been looking that good. Looked a little bit better in the last couple of games, but still not where you would expect him to be this late in his college career. And also, Kansas State with a less than stellar defense doesn't get me all that excited. KU's 3 losses are Cincy, Mizzou, Texas Tech. Do you want to put together, to talk college football playoff, talk bad losses, good losses?
Hey, those are quality losses, man.
Quality losses they have. They should be in the top 25. Yeah, I can hear fucking, what's his name? Feinbaum screaming already. But
they all on the road, or they play Cincy at home?
Ooh, I believe 2 of the 3 were on the road. I don't remember which 2.
Either way, it's neither here nor there. I mean, you got 3 ranked
but again,
teams, three ranked losses. I don't think we're batting an eye at Kansas losing to ranked teams. That's
no, not at all. And then also Jalen Daniels, more than serviceable, and I would say has taken a huge step forward this year over what he's done in the last couple.
He's cleaned it up.
Rock chalk, baby. Give me 3.5 with KU at home in that beautiful new stadium. Rock chalk, baby. K-State don't stand a chance.
I wouldn't say they don't stand a chance because K-State's been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks than they started the season. That's for sure. Kansas, not a team I'm going to put all my eggs in their basket to just go absolutely win a game they're supposed to win. That's for sure. That being said, 2 words, rock chalk. I am on Kansas. I think they take care of business at home in a rivalry game, even though it is not either team's biggest rival. That's why we're being played in the middle of the season. But, I think Kansas takes care of business. A little field goal spread I'm okay with. I think Kansas gets it done in this one.
I agree, Noah. Let's move on to the next game we have in the afternoon slate. Going back to that, I got to get my mouse in
I
the
got the
right
game you
place.
missed.
Huh?
I said I got the game you missed. I know you said
What game did I
you
miss? Let's go ahead and
uh,
correct it right now.
Northwestern Nebraska.
Oh, that's right. I did skip this game. I will not lie, Noah. I had a drink last night or two, and I was putting the slate together. And I was like, he didn't put this game on here. Why the fuck would he put this game on here? And so I must have just completely just like thought you were joking or something. But let's get to it. Northwestern Nebraska, both 5-2 on the season. Nebraska 7.5 point favorites at home, 44.5 is the total. Noah, why don't you tell me where you're at while I do a little digging? Because again, I thought you were joking, but
Well, Nebraska. Congratulations, you were briefly ranked for about a week. You got absolutely shellacked at Minnesota. Made me happy. Gophers probably most complete game of the season. 9 sacks in that one. That's crazy. But Northwestern's had a sneakily good season. I know they did lose to Tulane, but they're in the mix here and almost made this my dog of the week here. I thought about it. I considered it. Almost made it my dog of the week. I am taking Northwestern to cover 7.5, though. I think they keep this within a touchdown. If this game was played at Northwestern in front of all 4,000 fans there, might be a different story. But this is in Nebraska, so I don't feel confident enough to take Northwestern completely outright in this one. But I also won't be surprised if Northwestern wins this game outright in Nebraska. And then we're going to have some we got some swirls right now about Matt Rule to Penn State. Those swirls are going to become torrential winds, and they're going to get real serious about, and Nebraska fans are going to be like, well, do we even want to keep this guy at this point? We lost to Northwestern. Northwestern, can they get bowl eligible in 8 games? That would be crazy.
would be crazy.
Right.
I'm going to be on Nebraska minus the 7.5 here, and it's just because off of my gambling principles more than anything on this one. Line opened up at 8.5, now down to 7.5. 63% of the bets, 97% of the money on Northwestern plus the 7.5. Reverse line movement, Noah. You know I love me that. Give me Nebraska minus 7.5 just based off that principle alone.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm
Again, I don't love it, and I think that's why I didn't handicap this game fully, because I didn't like that this game was on the slate. I didn't like the number. I didn't like really anything about it. But
I mean, my initial take on this was I was like, oh, Nebraska bounces back huge after that embarrassing loss to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait, but Northwestern actually has a respectable team this year. And I'm not going to say they're great, but they're respectable.
Yeah.
And I do think they have what it takes to go into Nebraska and keep this one close.
Let's hope so. Well, for your sake, for my sake, I hope you're wrong. Anyway, let's keep moving, Noah. BYU, Iowa State. Iowa State, 2.5 point favorites at home. 49.5 is the total. I had the money up, and then we went to Northwestern. Give me 2 seconds, Noah. Iowa State, Jesus, 71% of the bets, 99% of the money. I'm not taking that money, at face value, but still a lot of money on a lot of bets, a lot of money coming in on Iowa State here. And I don't get it, Noah, like at all, if we're going to be completely honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. BYU doesn't win pretty. Like, they have that double overtime loss to Arizona, and apparently no one thinks Arizona is worth a shit, and so that doesn't mean anything to BYU. The people putting these rankings together. But it's fine. And I mean, I think Bear being a true freshman helps out a little bit. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. He can make mistakes, but he can bounce back from it. And it shows that he's a true freshman, but he's stepping up and he's going down fine. I mean, I'm liking it. I'm more worried about Iowa State. I mean, losses at Colorado and Cincy, got a lot more respect for Cincy than Colorado. That's for damn sure. But no, give me them Cougars minus plus the 2.5. Give me the money line. Thought about making this my shirt of the day, but I really like Utah State this weekend.
Yeah. So this was I think this was a game that I was maybe thinking about for dog of the week. Except for the team that I'm on is not the dog, so it
Oh,
can't be the dog of the week.
can't be.
Oh man, Matt Campbell, love what he's doing with this program. Going into Ames, not a place you really think about being a tough place to play, but it's a tough place to play because guess what? You go to the middle of fucking Iowa, same thing as Nebraska. They got nothing else to look forward to. They got nothing else to look forward to. They're in the middle of Iowa, and this crowd's going to bring it. And Rocco Becht, I think, going to dial in. This defense is battered. But if the defense can hang in there, and I think Matt Campbell and company are going to bring some interesting looks that are going to get Bear Bachmeier a little bit confused here, and I think he makes a couple mistakes in this game like he did at U of A. And again, not a great defense by any standpoints, but still forced some turnovers. He didn't have any going into that game. Played a hell of a game at Utah, probably took a lot out of him, and I'm going to say Iowa State comes out on top on this game. I'm going to take him minus the 2.5. I'm okay with that covering. And I fully expected Iowa State to be maybe a touchdown dog going into this one, but somehow they come out as a 2.5-point favorites. The book's really fucking with me on this one, but I'm taking Iowa State winning this game, covering the spread.
If it does help you feel a little bit better, line opened up at 1.5, moved up to 2.5, I believe, due to the betting they got on Iowa State here. But I believe Iowa is a legal state and Utah is not, so I would just keep that one in mind.
I think you're correct on that.
So let's go ahead and keep it moving, Noah, too. And this is, I will say, I think we've disagreed on this episode on picks more than we have mostly this season. But I think we're about to come around to a game we can agree on. Let's go ahead. Minnesota, Iowa, 7.5-point favorites at home. 39.5 is the.
You skipped another. I won't let you forget it, though.
Sorry, again, not the setup, Noah. So we're doing what we can.
We'll circle back to the one you glanced over real quick, but
I glanced over another one. God bless it.
I don't know how, but we'll get back to that.
Which one was it? Illinois, Washington?
No, Mizzou, Vandy. You know where game day?
Did we not talk about that already? I thought we talked about that already.
No, we didn't. But
I'm sorry. That one I thought I have that handicapped. I honestly thought we talked about it already. That's my bad. No, it's been a long fucking week at work.
No, you good.
Let's go ahead. Let's do Mizzou Vandy then. Mizzou Vandy 2.5-point favorites at home. 53.5 is the total. Game day, as Noah mentioned, number 15 versus number 10 in the SEC. It is a perfect recipe for game day. Noah, I'm going to continue to run with the statement that we've been running with this entire season with college football. Vandy and Diego Pavia are winning a national championship this year, and there is nothing you can tell him to make him think any differently. And he clearly goes into every single game that way. And I think he's got his team behind it so much at this point. It's going to be a good bounce back against LSU, and they're going to continue to be nice. I like this Mizzou team. I think the offense is really where they kind of stand on their own feet, but don't like the close losses they have. This feels like the one where, we wait for that one game with the Vikings or, someone where it's like, okay, now they're back to where they were. Give me Vandy minus that 2.5 and Missouri. I mean, thanks for stopping by, but they're being the top 20.
Oh, welcome to Nashville. And you're going to hate your stay here because it has not been pretty for any team that's come to Nashville this season, and
No.
I don't think it's going to be pretty for Mizzou here. Vandy's going to take care of business in this one, and they're going to keep that train rolling. They're going to keep fueling it with more steam. And Diego Pavia, little side note on that. I'm crazy. So there's a 5-star recruit that's committed to Georgia currently, plays high school ball in Nashville. Diego Pavia, what was he doing this past week? Oh, he was at that
Oh.
guy's game, sitting front and center in the stands. And Diego Pavia should be gone after this year. I highly doubt that he somehow finagles another year of eligibility. But he's committed to this program in a way that's beyond when he's gone from this program. And the fact that he is out there trying to recruit 4 or 5-star recruits in the Nashville area. I know he probably has limitations on how far he can travel midweek, but Diego Pavia is out there actively trying to flip a 5-star recruit from Georgia to Vandy, and I just you love to see it. And that's the energy that Clark Lea, that Diego Pavia, that this Vandy program has right now. And no slight to Mizzou, like they've built up this program nicely to better than it has been, but this atomic rise of Vanderbilt football, I think they take care of business and they win this game, and they win this game convincingly. And it's just like who's gonna stop this Vandy team? Who is going to stop this Vandy team? And
I know. I figured it out. Call on me. I figured it out, Noah. I know who's going to stop Vandy. Call on me.
Sorry, I should preface who's going to stop them before the playoffs, because I don't know that they win a national championship, but
Oh no, I was going to say the College Football Playoff Committee stops Vandy. I mean, if anything, I promise there's 0 people that have.
Not unless they lose 3 games. I mean, they get past Mizzou here. I know you got Texas coming up on the schedule. You got Auburn. What do they have? Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, who I'm not worried at all about that game at Tennessee. I think Vandy, give me some fucking line that's got Tennessee -10 already at it with the books, and I will be slamming that like I did with the 3-week premature line against Bama, where they were plus 24, 24.5. Ridiculous. I mean, Vandy could win out the rest of their schedule, and I don't even think that's a hot take. That's a hot take. Like, this could be an 11-1 Vandy team whose only loss is at Alabama. And Vandy could have a rematch against Alabama or somebody else. They don't have that tiebreaker over Alabama, but like there's a realistic chance that Vandy, they win out. They could be in the SEC championship game and getting a real nice extra game to add to their schedule, regardless of if they win or lose it. But
I agree.
They're winning this goddamn game.
Oh yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts. Let's move on to the next game, Noah. Minnesota, Iowa. Iowa, 7.5-point favorites here. 39.5 is the total. I find this to be funny, Noah. Iowa is Iowa. They've learned a little bit of what the forward pass can do for an offense, and it's definitely shown. Like, I'm not trying to shit on them too much here, but they're still too much of the same Iowa team. You're looking for a lot of defense and a lot of, stops. Going to be a defensive battle here, too, with Minnesota's defense. First of all, give me the under 39.5, as we do every year with this game. And then give me
Big Ten West. I know they got rid of Big Ten East-West, but Big Ten West represent right here, baby.
And then give me Minnesota, Ski-U-Mah, go Gophers, plus that 7.5. I like the way Lindsey has been performing at quarterback. I think he is a really solid guy for this program and what they're asking him to do. But
he's only going to get better.
Exactly. And so I really like what they're doing. Ski-U-Mah, go Gophers. What's his name is still there, isn't he? Necktie mentality. What's the fuck's his name again?
Oh, PJ Fleck, yeah.
PJ Fleck, thank you. That's been killing me all week. And I didn't look it up on the internet for whatever reason. But
you mean the second longest tenured coach in the Big Ten? Now that James Franklin,
I do believe so. Yeah, I do believe so. Yeah, you're right. Now that James Franklin is gone, maybe he's primed for that Penn State job. What do you got, Noah?
Fleck's been there a decade. Only guy who's been there longer than him in the Big Ten, Kirk Ferentz, who's been there 2+ decades, playing at Iowa. Man, I'm gonna be pissed off if this game isn't a good old school Big Ten West. Like, this should be low ass scoring.
Yeah.
Lots of defense, lots of turnovers, lots of 3-and-outs, lots of punts, and 8.5 is far too high of a spread for this game. So I did think about this one for my dog of the week. I don't feel confident enough in Minnesota coming out of this with the win to make it my dog of the week, but I do feel really, 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 really confident on an 8.5 point line on this one. Give me that under big time. This feels like it's going to be about a 13-10 type of game. Maybe a 12-9 type of game, just to throw a weird ass score at you, because that tends to happen. And Minnesota's going to be in this one. They're going to have a chance to win. Iowa's offense has not looked overly impressive. Their defense obviously looks really good, like it does every damn year. But if Minnesota plays defense like they did against Nebraska last week, they're going to have a chance to win this one. They probably should win this one if their defense plays the way they did against Nebraska. Give me the Gophers on the spread. Give me the under. This is going to be a real tight. There's going to be less than 20 points going into the fourth quarter in this game. And I don't think it's going to jump up to 40 to hit the over in that fourth quarter. It's going to be a second game on our slate where I'm saying this one's coming down to a made or missed field goal as time expires. And I don't know who's going to be kicking the field goal. I don't know who's going to be making, who's going to be missing the field goal. But one of these two teams is going to have an opportunity at the end of the game, and this game's going to come down to a made or missed field goal. And that's what's going to happen. And neither team's hitting 20 points.
No, probably not. Let's go ahead and stay in the afternoon slate, Noah. Toledo, Washington State. Toledo, 1.5-point favorites here. 45.5 is the total. 53% of the bets, 90% of the money on Washington State here to cover. That's funny, dude. Honestly, bro.
Oh, they damn near just beat two SEC teams in back-to-back weeks. So public's giving the love to Washington State, saying, "Oh, this team must be legit."
They must be. I mean,
this 3-4 Washington State team that lost by 40 points to Washington in Seattle, but they almost beat two SEC teams, which, by the way, let's drop this SEC fucking bias because, Washington,
I was about to ask you, which SEC teams were those, Noah? Let's bring that up.
No, the whole SEC. It doesn't even matter. Ole Miss was one of them, and then who did they play last week?
I don't remember.
I feel like it was Arkansas or Kentucky or some shit.
Yeah, I feel like it was one where I was like, okay, that's not nearly as bad of a loss.
But
it was Virginia. Oh no, it was Ole Miss and then Virginia. They lost 22-20 to Virginia, 24-21 to Ole Miss, but lost 20-3 to Colorado State, and then 59-10 to North Texas and 59-24 to Washington.
Wow. Okay.
Noah, is it crazy to think that the SEC isn't that good?
I think Washington State should be invited to the SEC, is what I'm thinking. Toledo's a respectable program out of the MAC, but honestly, I'm a really big down on the MAC as a conference as a whole. I think they're slipping down those Group of 5 rankings year in and year out, and I think Wazoo takes care of business at home in Pullman. This is a low-ass spread. I give me Wazoo to cover.
Yeah, give me Toledo on the spread, on the money line. I'm going to take them just on the money line with how low the spread is. I think they have a better
case with the transitive property to to Ole Miss if Toledo beats Washington State and Washington State almost beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, transitive property, put them in the top 10. But no, I truly just think they have better offense, better defense, and more consistent than anything. And don't get me wrong, Wazoo is able to have good football games, but I just think they're more few and far between. And they've already kind of worn out their stay with this. So,
hey,
I'm on Toledo.
If Toledo wins this game and Oklahoma beats Ole Miss, we might have to start talking about can Akron beat Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. That's a fun conversation to have. That would be a fun conversation.
I think Akron could hold their own. No,
next game on this.
Yeah,
next game on this slate. No,
sorry if anybody watching's an Akron fan. Don't mean to just pour salt in your wound, but.
Next game on the slate, San Diego State, Fresno State. San Diego State, 2.5-point favorites. 47.5 is the total. I'm sorry. I just have the best wife in the world. I'm getting everything else. 78% of the bets, 90% of the money coming in on Fresno State as the home dogs. And it's a good bounce back spot for Fresno after the CSU lost. And, the defense has played pretty good, but haven't played anyone outside of Colorado State, which do we need to talk about if Colorado State is good or not? Is that a conversation we need to have? I need your input on that one, Noah. But
I didn't think that was a conversation in either way, but go on.
anyway, my point being, I like San Diego State. I like them. I like them a lot. The 6-3 NIU game just really stands out to me. Like it really fucks with me a little bit, but I'm not going to let it fuck with me too much. Give me San Diego State minus the 3, 2.5, whatever it's sitting at. I think they win this game by at least a field goal. I like them a lot more than Fresno.
I'm on the opposite side of another one from you, AJ.
Another one.
Yeah, I'm on Fresno to cover the spread here. I think Fresno takes care of business at home. San Diego State, they've been a kind of Jekyll or Hyde type of team this year. They've had some nice wins and some really bad losses, and I think they're not going to show up super well in this one. It's not a big travel for them to go to Fresno State, but give me the Bulldogs to cover the spread here.
Fair enough, Noah. I do just want to go ahead and throw one free pick in here that was not on the slate, just because I was scrolling across it, and I think it's a hilarious line. Texas, Mississippi State. Mississippi State, 6.5-point dogs at home. Give me Texas minus the 6. Just wanted to throw that one out there. Noah, that is fucking hilarious.
Could be another Bulldogs team that's grabbing a win this week. AJ, you did skip another game, though. I just want to point that out.
What game did I skip?
We're at three now. We're at 3.
No, I told you that it was bad this week. I told you I was going to miss some games this week. What did I miss?
Your favorite team to mispronounce against the team that Jed Fish went to.
Oh, the Illini's? But no, I call them the Illini now, Noah. They've earned my respect. That was my whole thing with Illinois. I will call them the right name when they've earned my respect. Illinois has earned my respect, Noah. I love what Bielema. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love what Bielema has done with this team, and I think they are really solid. With that being said, I get Washington is not, the sexy topic to talk about at all, but they've looked really fucking good this season so far. And I just feel like it's the position they're at right now and why they're not being talked about. They're 4.5-point favorites in this game. 54.5 is the total. I am gonna do, against my better judgment, I'm gonna go with Bielema in this one in Illinois. I think they can keep this one within field goals. I'm also probably leaning on the under 54.5 here. I'm looking on this one being a big defensive game. And again, I missed this game. This is me handicapping it off the top of my head, so take this with a grain of salt. But from what I've watched, and again, eye test is so important to me. From what I've watched, Illinois has looked more impressive than Washington, and so I'm going with Illinois on this one.
Yeah, well, so here's where I'm going to come in with my hot take.
Oh, Jesus, that hot?
Well, hey, this is my dog of the week.
This
is my dog of the week. I got Illinois winning outright in Seattle on this one. Luke Altmaier. Luke
Altmaier is a dog.
Illinois' quarterback. I think he's a top 3. From a draft perspective, I know we talked about a week ago, earlier this week, whatever it was. I said, yeah, Sawyer Robertson's probably my number 1 guy that I'm targeting, which is, whatever. Baylor's probably going 8-4.
Yeah.
It's not that impressive, but Sawyer Robertson's probably my number 1. Luke Altmaier's in my top 3. If I'm an NFL scout, if I'm looking at my draft board.
Especially for the Arizona Cardinals.
Luke Altmaier is in my top 3 quarterbacks. This dude has won a lot of games. He's stuck with the Illinois program. He's been through it, been through the growth. This dude's playing unreal quarterback and getting absolutely no recognition for it. And he He doesn't even care. He's been asked about it in interviews, and he's like, "Yeah, so long as the team's winning, I don't care. I don't need that attention. I don't need whatever." That's another positive for him. But Luke Altmaier, this Illinois defense is really good as well. Man, Illinois is winning this game outright. I cannot believe. I thought this line was going to be the opposite way around.
I did too.
I thought Illinois was going to be a 3 or 4 point favorite. But not only the AP, but the books are also disrespecting Illinois. Brett Bielema has been here. He's done that. The amount of 10-win Wisconsin teams that he was with, I mean, this dude knows how to coach. He knows how to coach well. He knows how to coach in the Big Ten. Illinois goes out there. They get the win. This is my dog of the week.
I love it, Noah. I love it. And honestly, if I would have handicapped this game and put it on my schedule, I probably would have had this be my shirt of the week too. But I'm still riding with Utah State. Let's keep it moving, Noah, into the later slate. We're going back to SEC action. Texas A&M, LSU. A&M 2.5-point favorites on the road. 49.5 is the total here. And Noah, you go first on this one.
This one's so easy to me, man. LSU has not been passing the eye test all year for me. I thought it was really impressive when they beat Clemson, and then that was week 1, and then we saw what Clemson looks like. And so they've lost – that game holds no weight to me anymore. A&M looks good. A&M's firing on both sides of the ball. They look good. I know they're ranked number 3 right now, so this isn't like a hot take or anything, but I've been saying it for a couple of weeks. I'm like, A&M – well, actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was saying Oklahoma was the best team in the SEC, but A&M was never out of my number 2 for me. And A&M, Mike Elko, they've got everything firing really well on this team. LSU just simply doesn't pass the eye test. I know it's a night game. It's being played in Death Valley. That's going to be tough. That is an aspect that I'm not overlooking, but A&M's coming out of this with a win. And they're covering a 2.5-point spread, which is a measly 2.5. They should be about 7.
I agree with you.
They should be 7, 8, 9-point favorites in this game. They're not. They're sitting at 2. This line is criminal. A&M's winning this game. They're covering the spread.
I couldn't agree with you more, Noah. I'm on A&M minus the 2.5 as well. I was expecting this game to be at a touchdown, if not more. I will give flowers where flowers are due, though. I think Nussmeier is a solid quarterback. I don't think he has the juice around him, though, to be a great quarterback right now in college football. And I just don't like the receiving core. I don't think they give him the opportunity. Give me A&M minus the 2.5. And I think we're going to be done talking about Ole Miss after this week, won't we?
Ole Miss or LSU?
Or LSU, both, I guess.
Yeah, just going to take the opportunity there to say, things could have been a little bit differently if our justice system didn't fail Kyron Lacey. But,
yeah. God damn, that's true.
I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to dive any deeper. But, I think once before this season, I said you throw Kyron Lacey into this offense.
Yeah, different.
Might be a little bit of different look, but
again, thoughts and prayers with the family, and hope he's resting in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace to Kyron Lacey. I mean, terrible thing, but that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, A&M though. I mean, they.
You want to say hi to the camera?
Come
here, buddy. This is Remy. Say hi to Remy.
Everybody say hi to Remy. If you don't, we're coming for you. Man. I mean, it feels like A&M comes into every season with lofty expectations. Their expectations weren't as lofty this season, but they're off to an undefeated start, and they do look like they might be the best team in the SEC. So,
yeah. If everything goes according to plan, I'm going to be dropping my projections for the top 12 that the College Football Playoffs committee's on Monday. And so we'll be having some good stuff to cover Tuesday. But if everything goes according to plan. Anyway, before I go to Houston, Arizona State, did I miss any other games?
No. That is the last one on our slate.
I just wanted to make sure because I felt like I missed them because there were a couple of other matchups where I'm like, maybe Noah put this one in there, but I'm glad you didn't. Let's go ahead, wrap it up then. Houston, Arizona State, number 24. They got that funny number back. ASU 7.5 point favorites. 46.5 is the total, Noah. Where are you at, dude? Like I'm not gonna lie, I have flip flopped on this game like 4 times since you sent me the slate,
Yeah,
and
and here's what I gotta say, AJ, because I know you probably are pulling the numbers up, or if you haven't, you're doing it right now. But I would imagine
20%, 87% of the money. Where do you think that's at?
yeah,
Twenty
I gotta
percent of the bets,
imagine,
87% of the bets.
gotta imagine the public's grossly on ASU.
Yes, and also remember Arizona sports gambling state. Texas is not, but still 80% of the bets coming in on Houston at 13% of the money.
Well, you look at last week, right? ASU gets a big win at home against Texas Tech, gives them their first loss of the season. What I anticipate might be their only loss of the season. But Texas Tech was moving the ball just fine in that game, just got red zone defense for ASU really, 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 really stood up, and too many field goals for Texas Tech. It wasn't enough. It was still a one-score game, but yeah, I think they had 4 red zone drives that ended in field goals. Can't have that. And then on the flip side, Houston at home against an Arizona team that's not as good as this ASU team. It pains me to verbalize those words, but yeah, we're not as good as ASU. We're not as talented. Houston beats us on a last second field goal. I understand where the line's at. I understand where the public's at. It makes sense for this one. But here's the thing. I've been saying for a couple of weeks now. I said this before the Texas Tech game, even though I did pick Texas Tech to cover that spread. This Houston defense is legit, and they did give up a decent amount of points to Arizona. I will say that. It was one of maybe their worst showing of the year if you actually want to take into account the skill level of teams. AJ, it looks like you bet live on the Vikings, and I think that was a dumb decision.
No. They just hit TJ Hawkinson to hit the over on yards I needed.
Oh, okay.
And it looked like they were going to go back to him for the touchdown that I needed in the same game with Chargers minus 3.5, et cetera. Like everything else is hit except for TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, Wentz.
And Carson Wentz. Why do quarterback? You're not Patrick Mahomes. You are not Patrick Mahomes.
Easy. He was down. Sorry. It's fine. Let's finish up here. All that being said, I'm big time on Houston's defense. I think Wegman's a great quarterback. Another guy who I'm not. He's not like top 3, 5, 10 on my draft board, but I think Wegman should be drafted in the.
Sure.
He's a day 3 quarterback to me. He's a day 3 quarterback. I think some NFL teams should take a shot at drafting Wegman in the 5th.
Like the Arizona Cardinals.
But I think Houston's going to keep this real close. I love them +7. This was one I did consider as my dog of the day. I do think ASU, they've got this weird, funky magic to them this year that they had last year as well, winning all these real tight one-score games. And I think they get a 2-3 point win out of this one, but Houston covers the spread.
Well, I do think we can go ahead and square down to that what that magic is of this team, and it's Ken Dillingham. I mean, Kenny is an unbelievable head.
I'm just glad he's going to be gone after this season to some other.
Yeah, he's done. He is done with us. Done with ASU after this season. He'll probably take that Penn State job or Florida. To be honest, he seems more like a Florida guy to me.
I will celebrate the day that Dillingham is gone once this season is over, because then ASU can go back to just being a shit 3-win program every year.
Exactly. But I am also on Houston plus the 7.5. I think it's a little too many points for this one. I think, as you said, Wegman is a serviceable quarterback. He's a solid quarterback, a day 3 quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. And I think Houston's defense really gives it to ASU in this one. And ASU for the rest of the season, I think, is going to be hovering around the out of the rankings, in the rankings, out of the rankings, in the rankings, which is fine.
They're going to be a week in, week out type of team.
Yeah. And I think Houston kind of puts a start to that cycle yet again. Give me Houston plus the 7.5. I will be sprinkling this money line, Noah. I will be sprinkling it. I do think the defense is good enough to get Sam Levitt off balance and to get him just off rhythm.
6-1. This is a 6-1 team. This is a 6-1 Houston team.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying, I think, but Sam Levitt, I will say, like, I thought when Cam Scatterby was going to be gone from this ASU team, I thought Sam Levitt was going to take a serious decline, similar to how Daniel Jones and the Saquon issue ended up with the Giants. But Sam Levitt has actually stepped up. Like, I will give roses where roses are due. I feel like Sam Levitt has really stepped up without having Cam Scatterby, that he can, he is showing that he can spread the ball around a little bit more and everything like that. And I respect the hell out of that. I think this defense is going to be too much. Give me Houston plus the 7.5. Sprinkle that money line. But Noah, that's NFL, college football, and we did talk NBA today. Not for the best stuff, but we talked NBA. You got anything else before we call it a night?
No, that's what I got. Other than that, I did have one little last sentence on that with the Houston ASU game.
Oh yeah,
I do think Houston is a better team by a hair this season. This game being played in Tempe, though, I do think ASU wins. Like I said, I'm on Houston to cover, so that's where I'm at with that one.
fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I will be live again later tonight with my Power Slap 16 picks. And so you're not going to want to miss that. It's over at the UAE, so we have an early start time tomorrow. That's why I'm doing it tonight. So you're not going to want to miss that. And then Noah and I will be live next Tuesday with our reactions to everything that happened in the world. Noah's top 25 and possibly my top 12 college football picks, depending how everything goes. But with all that being said, hey, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. But again, I'm the Brofect one, AJ. That guy is the Money Train Noah. We'll see you guys next time on Degenerate Takes.